viewers, and welcome to another new adventure. We are going into Valheim. Valheim is a game that came out a few years ago now. It's still in early access though, and it just took the world by storm. Everybody was into it. I was doing something else at the time, and it was on my radar of like, I think we can have some fun with this, especially if we bring along a friend. And a friend we have brought along, the glorious, the wonderful Bex. Show her off. It's the Okaymage.
I mean to scour the annals for... Oh no!
The wonderful Jordan. I won't be referring to her as Okaymage because she's Jordan to me, and she has been a partner of mine on the casting crew for the Race to World First now for 4 years. We've known each other quite a long time at this point and spent a lot of time together doing various things with the crew, and she's wonderful, amazing, and she's super funny, and she is the antithesis of me. She is chaos incarnate. She is a chaos goblin. I know you guys treat me as chaos. Jordan is true chaos, like born of chaos, and nothing was more evident than our intro into Valheim. So we both know nothing about this game. Like, I think Jordan said she installed it when it was like really popular and everyone was popping off. She played it for a few minutes, but was like, I don't really get it, and logged it off and didn't remember a damn thing about it. Never really got anywhere. And I've never touched it. And other than people memeing me that we will be chopping trees, which I hate. I absolutely hate. It's time consumption. We're going to be doing a lot of that, and we did. We did do a lot of that. I am putting my hatred aside because Jay is providing me with good conversation and chat while we're doing it, and storytelling, which is wonderful. So, Valheim really tells you nothing at the start. I like this. This is like, just go. It says you start in like a sacrificial area, and it's just like, hey, there's a monster nearby. We'll put it on your map. Sort it out. And there's a burb. We call him Huggins. Huggins comes and just tries to give you some tutorial stuff. Often after it's already happened and you've kind of figured out what's going on, right? If you die and respawn and your gear's missing, you know the situation. And Huggins is like, yeah, so if you die, your gear gets taken away and you have to get back to your body. More on that later. More on that later. But yeah, you get it, and you're underway. We did go and check it. So we started off actually more exploring what we could pick up, which was like basic branches and things like that. And it's usual sort of Minecrafty start. It's like, oh, we can build a basic axe with getting some stones and things like that. And we can kill some basic creatures and get some food off them and little bits of resin to make torches. Very usual sort of survival crafty stuff. So that was fine. And then decided to whip up a very mock base, which I wish I had built the hoe earlier, where you can flatten land, because I could not get anything to work, and like workbenches need roofs, so we were really sort of, it was like two blind people trying to put together a jigsaw. It was just insane. We're trying to mock everything together. Roofs were all over the place. And we were like, okay, we kind of got stuff working now. And I was like, maybe we need to build the house on struts, so it's like above the ground, so then we can get it even. So I built this monstrosity. And then there's all these rules that we started to learn, like certain functions can't be done unless there's a workbench nearby. I think that maybe with upgrades can be extended, because later on we had to build workbenches all over the place. I get why they've done it though, because you could definitely cheese a lot of the bosses by having a workbench nearby, and they don't want you to do that. But you could, if you pre-set up, you can do that, but you need a little bit more work than like, oh, I wonder if I can throw this down and get it working. So we got some basics going, and eventually boars. Oh my god, boars. Let's take a side story here to boars. Boars, from what me and Jordan have found, are the only source of leather scraps. Although we ended up building a tannery to make leather from deer hides and things like that. Boars were the only source of leather scraps. And I found a rune stone in a forest that was like, if you give them the bounty of the land, they will follow you. I was like, oh, we can make a boar farm. That's cool. We can make a boar farm. And if we make a boar farm, then we could stop spending literally hours hunting down boars. But here's the thing. It took us over an hour to figure out how this works. We figured out at some point it was to do with mushrooms, because they have a tooltip that says bounty of the land, which I think was on the rune. So it was like, okay, it's something to do with these. And then we figured out that, like, if you crouch, you go into like a stealth mode and you can kind of sneak up on them, which was indicated by the rune. But every time we did this, either an enemy would spawn or the boar would just turn around and see us and go bananas, and we had to beat it to death. And then we spent so long just trying to get this to work. And we didn't know whether you go near them and then you like click it on your toolbar. And I got a message which was very distracting, is when I clicked the dandelions, it said, oh, you cannot offer the boar dandelions. And like, so we do offer it them. So then I tried it with the mushrooms and the raspberries, and that didn't work. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, clearly, like, you can offer things via the hotbar, but this isn't working. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm just going to try and drop it on the floor. And I did do it. I dropped it on the floor, and it ran to it, and it started changing to, like, acclimatizing to you. I was like, ooh, okay, we have a thing. And then it went 0%. I'm watching it, and it goes 1%. I'm like, what is happening here? And I waited again for a long time, and it went 2%. I'm like, there's no way I have to, like, keep stealthing near this goddamn boar for, like, 10 minutes or whatever. Which actually turns out to be half an hour is how long this takes. So we're like, what are we going to do here? So we're like, we'll make a pen. And if we stick them in there, we can maybe just hang out nearby, and it'll kind of work. So Jordan built a pen for us. And I was like, how do we get them back there? And then it aggroed me. And I was like, oh my god, now it's angry at me. I was like, okay, I'm going to run it back to the pen because it's chasing me. So I ran all the way across the map, managed to get it into the pen, closed the door, and it was just raging at me. And it was breaking the pen. I'm like, what are we going to do here? So I like ran all the way away to de-aggro it and then came back. And sure enough, hearts were coming off it. And I'm like, oh, but if I went too close, it would aggro me again. I'm like, okay, so I need to like not be near it. So I ran away again, came back, and then Jordan brought another one. So we had 2 boars, because the idea was hopefully we didn't have to gender check them, but they would produce babies. Because that's what we want. We want a constant stream of boars that we can just murder into the ground and have a constant supply of leather scraps. Okay. So we're looking at it, and it's taking forever. Like, me and Jordan built a little lookout through a window where we were staring at the boars, which is slightly out of range, but we could see the heart, so it is working. And we waited, and I like went to the bathroom. I came back, still there. Jordan's trying to sneak up on them, and I was like, what are they even at? And we must have waited. Well, obviously we waited at least 15 minutes, or about 10 minutes, because I snuck up on them to have a look, and they were at 40%. I'm like, what is this? I was like, okay, John, this obviously takes forever. We've got other things to do. Let's go and do something else. So we went off and did other things. And then when we came back, they hadn't moved at all. And it turns out you have to be in proximity because they deload if you move away. And you can't just leave them there to chill. And you've got to stay in the area. But thankfully, we did discover that, like, as long as you don't go within a certain radius, they will carry on doing it. So we could do things around the base. But this was like an hour and a half of getting these boars. And it gets even worse from there. I'm just sticking with the boar story for now. We got them so they were happy and friendly. And we were like, awesome, that's really good. Will they make a baby? So we went off and did other things. And we came back. No baby. No baby. We're like, what is the problem here? Like, we did stuff around the base. It wasn't like we'd left them and like they deloaded for ages. We did do that. But when we came back, we had stuff to do in the base. And they still didn't do anything. We're like, what the hell is going on? So what is the point in all this? It must do something, because it takes half an hour to tame these damn things. It must do something. So we're looking around, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe the pen's not big enough. So then Jordan had the beautiful idea. It's like, what if we built an entire village protective wall and just let them free roam? We'll go free range. Instead of battery farm style, we'll make a nice open free range boar farm. And sure enough, after all this time, in total probably like 2.5 hours, Piggy was born and they started breeding. I was like, oh thank god, this actually works. And the decision now is, do we keep culling them because they need feeding, or do we let it get like completely out of hand where they're all interbreeding together and we'll just have loads of pigs and we'll wipe them all out? So we haven't decided what to do yet, but we figured it out. Around this time, we were like, we'll go and check out what the boss is. And it said we needed to sacrifice some of its kin. And above the altar was a picture of a deer. I was like, oh, we have killed some deers, but we don't know what we should do. So we tried like deer hides, we tried deer meat, nothing's happening. So like, let's go kill some more deers, because earlier on we had received a trophy from the boars. So it's like, maybe there's a deer trophy. So I started piecing, the clues are all there. The game is very, very good at giving you the clues as probably what's supposed to happen here. And so off we went and got a deer trophy, came back, sure enough, spawned a boss, which was very easy. The big deer, we killed it in the first try. That wasn't a problem at all, as wiping it out. And got that, and then we got a superpower, like an unused superpower from the ceremony. And we could also now build pickaxes to actually get proper ore. And Huggins was like, oh, good, you did it. Now you need to go and find the Black Forest. And there you'll find things like copper and things like that. So I was like, oh, we can make swords, like actual armor, because we were wearing this like scrappy leather armor. It's like we can actually do what we need to do now. This is pretty cool. We're on our way. We've got bows, we've got all this material. Where is the Black Forest? Now, we, in our minds, had explored quite a sizable area of this in our boar hunting journey. So, like, we could build a raft, because they give us the option to build a raft. I was like, so maybe the Black Forest is actually a different biome, like Minecraft. And we had hit water's edge several times, so maybe we build a raft. So we're like, okay, let's build a raft and go on a sea journey. So we built Port Cuppa, which is British, a cup of tea. Port Cuppa, where our raft was, and we set sail into the open ocean. And we traveled for a long time because it depends on the wind. And if you're going against the wind, you're screwed. So it took us a long journey across the waves where we landed and we saw some shiny things. So we pulled over and it was still the same sort of biome. So it was like, maybe we carry on down across the ocean. And we did cross the ocean with giant waves washing up over our raft. It was very exciting. I've got to say, it was absolutely awesome. And then we landed in another place and it was like, this is kind of still the same place. So we're still like exploring and checking things out. And then, sure enough, we found the Black Forest. And I was like, we found it. But it's so far away from home base, and it's across the ocean. What do? So, like, we started fighting a lot of very serious enemies that were definitely much tougher. So it was like tier 2 enemies. I'm like, okay, all right.
Wait, can't be teleported.
There is teleportation.
There is teleportation.
Oh, fuck, Jake! Move. Jake,
What?
back.
Wait, I'm
back,
over encumbered.
back,
I can't.
back. Oh,
can't
God,
run.
throw something
I
on the
need to
fucking
drop
floor, Jay.
something.
Look behind you,
I
Jay.
need to drop-
Look behind you,
What?
Jay.
I'm over encumbered. No, I dropped the copper. We literally came here for nothing.
We claimed some beds nearby in an abandoned village. And we're like, this is our beds now. We're safe here. So we can respawn there. Note that for later. It's like what we need to do, because we started fighting giant trolls where Jordan was busy, ran out of arrows, so Jordan just left me to kite this troll on my own. I killed it when Jordan eventually came back. We found copper as well, so we were mining the copper, which is very heavy, and I had to like throw the copper back to the base because I couldn't move it all. And we were like, we'll build a new base here, because we found a vendor who sells like fishing rods and stuff, and I'd started discovering coins, and then Jordan found some coins, so we had some money. We're like, right, so there's a vendor, let's build a base near the vendor so we know where it is. Built our new base. Jordan built this base and wanted a flat roof, so it's used floor. While this was happening, we discovered the nightmare of nighttime, where we got monstery. It was an onslaught. It was an onslaught of enemies. Tough enemies too. Like really tough. Like we were getting killed left and right because we'd placed beds and all this kind of stuff, but it doesn't work if you just have floor above you as a roof. That doesn't work. So we were like, oh Jesus Christ, nothing works. We were dying and running miles to get back as we were just being onslaughted. We couldn't sleep in the beds. We couldn't do anything. It was hell on earth. And I ended up being like a funnel. I was like mining all the wood, bringing it back so Jordan could work it. Although there's a different type of wood now called core wood, which didn't work with anything that she needed to make. So it was really inefficient. It was so stressful. It was unbelievable. It was so bad. And we built this giant base and it was like, right, we've got a new base of operations. We're solid. We're near a vendor. This is really good. We can get some work done, and now we can investigate, because once we got copper, he said you'll need a forge, which is somewhere beneath the ground. So we weren't sure whether we had to just dig down and find it, because the terrain is changeable, or is there like a tomb or a crypt or something nearby, because we are fighting skeletons, right? So we're all excited about this. This is pretty good. But we had reached the point where we couldn't upgrade our workbench without a tannery attached to it. And we needed, our armor was broken. Our leather armor was broken, we couldn't repair it. So we're like, okay, what are our choices here? We either go over somewhere else and find a bunch more deer, which we need, or boars. We need boars again. So like, we need either 20 boars, or we go back to our old base, check on the boars that we've tamed, because at least then we can pick up the stuff and build a tannery in the new base. Or we take down the old tannery and bring that with us. So we're like, okay, let's go back to the other base. My friends, this was the worst thing ever. This couldn't have gone worse. Up until now, I think we got kind of lucky. And then we got Valheimed. And the pain of Valheim became very, very apparent. And it's all because of our mistakes. This is fair. We set sail back. Okay. We make it back. And this is when we discovered that they were breeding and things like that. And that's when we decided to build the larger village. So we got to work on this, right? We need a lot of wood to put up this fencing around the entire base because it was quite large. Okay. So we're working on that. We're both building this fence. We're both chopping wood. Jordan died to something. I think a tree fell on her or something like that. And had not moved her respawn point to our new base. So she respawned across the ocean with nothing. Without a boat.
I was not watching my health.
What, are you dead?
Yeah.
What, a tree?
I knocked a tree down, and then a grey thing attacked me.
To be fair, a tree nearly landed on me a second ago.
Oh no.
It's food conversations like this that get beamed into space that lets other life forms out there know that there is no intelligent life on this planet.
There's nobody here who hasn't done a cheap and cheerful meal.
Anywhere.
Alright, do I build another raft and
Why?
come back?
Oh my god, you're so far.
Yeah, this is the problem.
So it's not impossible for her to recover from this. But she would have to rebuild all her tools and then farm a bunch of boars to rebuild a raft and then sail back across the ocean. So it's probably going to be an hour at best. So I was like, all right, what are we going to do here? She said, I think I've got this. She was like, I think I got it. I'm just going to crack on with it. I was like, all right, I'll finish the village. So I finished the wall up. And then she's like, not getting anywhere. And I finished the village. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to get the raft and I'm going to come and get you. Now, the raft journey is really long, which is why we were trying to do it one way instead of there and back. So I was like, okay, we're just going to launch a rescue operation. I go down to Port Cuppa. I get in the raft. I set off. So there's Leviathans in the sea.
Because then
Balls
I think
deep
in
in
the
the
dungeon,
dungeon.
that's when we can smelt stuff, right? Maybe?
Jordan,
Yeah?
I think I'm in trouble.
Why?
There's a Leviathan attacking the raft, Jordan.
What do you mean there's a Leviathan?
I mean, there's a fucking Leviathan attacking me right now.
What do you mean?
It's a serpent?
Oh, in the ocean?
Yes, in the fucking ocean. I don't think I can do anything. I just have to keep going. I hope he leaves me alone.
Oh, that sounds terrifying. Liv?
I legit think I'm dead. And the raft is destroyed, Jordan.
No way. Okay, I think plan.
I'm going to lose all my gear now, aren't I?
Oh no, because you're in the ocean. No, you can get away, I believe. Just
How strongly do
threaten
you
it with a
believe?
barbecue.
I was sailing across, and I'm like, all right, I'm about 5 minutes away, Jay. She's like, cool, I'm going to grab all the copper and stuff, because we had found another black forest near our base. We didn't have to go on the water at all, in any way. We didn't have to do that. And so it became a case of, right, we're going to get everything from the old base, abandon that base that we'd built all the way over there near the merchant. We'll still use it in the future because the merchant's there. But we're going to abandon that, come back to our base, bring anything with us that we found up there, which was like the tier 2 stuff, like copper and things like that. Get all back to our main base, sorted. And as I'm sailing across, I just see these spines coming out of the water. And I'm like, I know what that is because I've played Subnautica. I know what the hell that is. And this giant serpent came out. And I'm like, oh my god, there is no way I can deal with this. And it just starts attacking my boat. Another lesson learned. If you're going on a potentially risky journey, empty your inventory. Certainly of things that are very difficult to replace. The serpent ate my boat. I had changed direction to try and get to land. I wasn't even that far away. As my boat was destroyed up in the water, I was like, I'm going to run out of stamina and die here, but I shouldn't be too far away from the coast to maybe get my stuff back. And it ate me. Quite far away. So I just said, Jay, I've died as well. And I have none of my stuff now. And my stuff's in the middle of the ocean. And she's like, oh my god. What are we going to do? And this is where we got Valheimed. I tried to do my best by recreating my basic tools and making a run. Because I then thought, perhaps we are connected by land somewhere and we don't actually need to sail. And she's like, right, I'm almost able to build my own raft. Like, she'd been continuously working on that. I'm like, all right, I'm going to try and find if there's a land route to you. And therefore, we can just gather back up and get started again. So I'm running across here. And it turned out, as I ran past a third Black Forest, a third one, then I found a dungeon. And I was right near my corpse on the shore, but I was getting savagely attacked. I ended up in these showdowns with just a basic club and no armor against elite enemies. Trying to trick them with torches because they're scared of fire and maneuver it and all this kind of stuff. I was in these epic one-on-one battles. Jordan's scouring the land for boars. She's found dungeons and all sorts of stuff. Everything's going on here. And we're like, what else can we do? And I died again. Oh, I just had to kill 4 of them. What we got there?
I don't think, right, I think we have done all of the hardest parts of the game already. So there's no way it gets worse than this, right? Who knew that sailing across the ocean would be so difficult?
To a falling tree. I killed every enemy and I was like, right, I need a bit of wood because perhaps, she said, I'm nearly done with the raft. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to see if I can build a platform out to the water, like a bridge, where I can then grab all my leather armor and my pickaxe because we're going to have to kill the boss again otherwise because we've got no pickaxes left. All that kind of stuff. And she's still not got any of her gear because she died back in our land, right? So I'm trying to work this out, and I go to chop a tree down. It falls, rolls down the hill, and kills me. And I'm like, I've died again. And I've lost all my gear again. It is on land, but I've lost it all again. I try and run back. I die again because I've got no armor, no tools, no nothing, no food. And by this time, Jordan's made the raft. So I was like, okay, here's the plan. Here's the plan. We're gonna... You sail to me, but stick close to the shoreline, right? And the Leviathan shouldn't get you. She's like, if it gets me... I don't know what we're going to do, because I can't build another raft if this fails. I'm like, I know, this mission is important. Stay close to the shoreline. We have to assume it's only if you're in open water it's going to get you. So she sets sails, completely against the wind. I'm trying to get back to my stuff, which I eventually do as she's coming in. And in this glorious cinematic, sort of Francis Ford Coppola-esque moment, I'm stood on the shoreline in, like, this misty, dark dusk that's going on, with my torch in the air. And I see this raft approaching. And it must have been an hour and a half to get us reunited. And I can't tell you how satisfying and happy I was to step foot on that raft again and be rejoined. And I was like, let's pick up my stuff because we're really close to it. I'd been building out to it. I was like, let's just go and pick up my stuff. So I was like, okay, it's a little out to sea, but not too much. I said, if we see the Leviathan, we go. Here's what happened.
I think we will have the
Are you
rules
really
figured
summoning the Leviathan?
No! Stop
Oh, it's here!
What do you mean
Turn
it's
around!
here?
Turn the fuck around! Turn the fuck around! It's on our right-hand side!
What do you mean it's on our right-hand side? I don't see anything!
I'm going for it! It's here!
What do you mean
It's fucking here! Head for the shore!
Okay, but the wind is against us, so we're not really going anywhere! That's a tiny fish! Okay, can you...
Go!
I'm going! The wind is against us! Wait, no it's not!
Stop it!
Get on the
Slow
boat.
down! Slow down a little bit! Slow down a little bit! Little bit! Slow down a little bit! Fuck me! Okay, go! I swear to you, Jay, it's out there. I just saw it circling. All is well. All is well. The Leviathan we managed to dodge and get back to the base. And reunite, and Jay got all her gear back. We are back to where we were 2 hours before, with boars being born everywhere, and our base secure for now. I now understand the appeal of the game. because the risk is there, and losing your stuff here is like darkest dungeon levels of like, oh my god, I have to do all this again. And always take stuff out with you that you can replace and have a supply of and things like that. I cannot wait for our next play today of us actually tackling the Black Forest and being prepared for it and going into our first dungeon. I'm excited to see what they have for dungeons in this game, because it's simple, but it's cruel. And I imagine this is only going to get worse as our gear improves and we get all this stuff and it gets taken from us. So that's where we're up to. This game is really fun, especially with friends. I would fully recommend. Less crafting, you can mix it together. Yeah, let's get into it. I'll see you tomorrow.